So Margo, what and where is Tehachapy, and what inspired you to write that song?
What is it, Tehachapy? Yeah, so Tehachapy is a little town in California, and I learned about the town from the song Willin', and the Little Feat song goes, "I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, Tehachapy to Tonopah,"
Nice.
and I remember when I dropped out of college, I was studying at Clemson in South Carolina, and I had studied abroad like my junior year of college, and then I had gone back to Clemson to try to finish my degree. And I was like, I can't, it was, I couldn't see my career. I didn't have any room to play gigs, really. I couldn't really grow my musical career. So I just decided to drive back to California and like start from scratch, do what I'd need to do, And I remember like the song Willin' was like my anthem on this epic road trip across the country. And so that song always stuck with me, and I went through Tehachapy because it was like in the song, you just do the thing because it's in the song, right?
Right, right.
And that's kind of how I spent my 20s, just like, living the songs. Um,
Nice.
yeah.
And
And
that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead. I lost my train of thought.
Okay. Well, I was going to say that is the same sort of thought that prompted me to start Roots Music Rambler, for the first time back in 2019, pre-pandemic.
Uh-huh.
So it was just to like follow the song, like you said, and at that point too, I was really getting into the whole Americana scene. And I'd been a fan for a really long time, but I had a platform, I had a travel blog, and I was traveling a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
And
Cool.
then, you know, um, just discovering music along the way and then following certain artists and listening to their songs and just becoming really captivated by the lyrics and the places that they mentioned or the places that they were from. And that
Yeah.
that became my interest then. So then I was doing the songs, right? Like a couple of years ago, I dragged my kids and my mom down to Alabama and we went to Muscle Shoals and we
Yes.
I went to Mobile Street because Jason Isbell mentioned it in a song, and
Love it. Love
um,
it.
so that was the whole spirit of Roots Music Rambler for me from the beginning. So when I first heard Tehachapy, I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's a good song. Like it sounds great. The story is really good, but I like really felt, even though I've never been there, I really felt like, okay, I get an idea. Like I have a sense of place now, and it was
Mhm.
the lines, the lyrics that really hooked me where you worked on the water, I worked in the pasture, and the fog rolling into Petaluma at night brought those two together. And like I remember, like I get the chills now just talking about it, but I remember hearing that for the first time and going, I see that. Like I can really envision that,
Oh
And
man.
so,
Yeah.
that obviously is a testament to your great songwriting. But is that sort of what you were going for with Tehachapi or just telling a story?
You know, well, it's funny that I just played a show in Petaluma on this last run that I had, and I remember like feeling the air, and it was just like, oh, yep, that's it, the Petaluma air. It does have like a total feeling to it. I don't know, I just appreciate like vivid imagery, so I'm always trying to achieve that with my songs, is like, creating imagery to draw the listener in. But it's not like that song. That was just like a wild thing that came to me. And I don't
Okay.
know. You just get lucky with a song like that. It's not, I mean, I was in like I mean, I truly believe like physical labor it's like the best tool for my songwriting. But, I get lazy too, and I don't want to like, I don't want to break my back. And now that I don't have to, it's like, well, it's becomes tricky. But I'm glad you liked that line. But yeah, I don't know. I think I was pining, I was sort of
Yeah.
Sure.
I was pining for someone, and that's you just sometimes you end up writing something's kind of romantic.
Very
No.
romantic. I mean, like in
Yeah.
that sense, but also romantic and, like just thinking about like it got me thinking about a place like, okay, now I should probably go visit, right? Like
Yeah.
I need to make a trip out there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my vision, when
Awesome.
I hear those lyrics.
So I love the song. I certainly love the lyrics, but I really like the song because of the sort of musical influences and touches that kind of pop in there. Because when I was listening to it, and I realized this is probably more, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you wrote the damn song. It's probably more of the California sound influencing the vibe that's in that music. But I could hear like this Zydeco sounds and some ragtime in there. And it just, when you bring in other musical eras and genres into a song to color it, like I get real excited about those types of sounds. So tell me how those all came together in that song for you.
Yeah, well, so there's kind of that like Waylon groove on the drums that happens. And Sarah, like I had started playing the song like that live before I had met my producer Sarah. And then Sarah, like, she just really took it and ran with it, and she like got the horns player to track like sousaphone, the
Nice.
sousaphone bass part, and it was just like, I mean, and like the way that she had like hits the toms too, like it's just like, I mean, we were just dying when like because it was overdubbed,
Yeah.
We had just the basic track, and then she got the horn player to overdub everything. And that's Kelly Pratt. He's wonderful. And like, I mean, we just cracked up because she sent it to me and she was like, she's like, this is kind of out there, but you're gonna love it. And I did, I was like,
Yeah.
it's such a like, I mean, honestly, like like people recognize that song and people sit through my concert, and then I tend to close with Tehachapy, or it'll be like, it'll be in like the last three songs of the set, and these people are sitting there all night and then they're on their feet dancing to Tehachapy. And I'm like, bless your hearts, you just sat through this whole freaking concert and all you wanted was to hear Tehachapy. But it is like, for what it's worth, like the song gets you tapping your toes, or like, I don't know,
sure.
the groove of it really does like,
yeah,
kind of move. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's fun because people do like dancing to that song, and I'm always like, I'll take the win with that,
Oh yeah, that's a great one, and I'm glad that people when they see you live have that kind of reaction to it. So as Frank alluded to the fact that she started the blog and then original podcast for this because she was fascinated and interested with how the sense of place and where we are or where we were, where we grew up, and what kind of impact that had on the songs that we write, we listen to, we like. Tell us a little bit more about your roots. You mentioned about your siblings and your family, but tell us where you grew up and what about the sense of that place maybe finds its way into your writing.
Yeah, well, I grew up in what's called Silicon Valley. I was born in Santa Clara, grew up in Sunnyvale and Los Altos. So it's like the South Bay area. It's kind of the peninsula right at the bottom of the bay. And so it's a really densely populated area, but then like the coastal mountains are right there, and on the other side you have like the Santa Cruz area and Monterey Bay across the way. Kind of an intense sprawl, just like the most pristine suburbia. Well, maybe, I mean, I guess I've seen suburbs all around the country at this point, but it's pretty boring, safe place to grow up, but that area has such a legacy of I don't know, I think of like John Fogerty, and like and the Grateful Dead, there's like bandmates who grew up right in that area when it was less populated and stuff before their time, but it's kind of a funny connection, yeah, my mom is like, she grew up in a small town in Northern California, and my dad's family has been in California for, I think I'm the fifth generation, I think. So his family has been there a long time, and I'm sure he's seen a lot of change, in
I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, my mom's mom is very musical. She plays like 5 different instruments, and she sings, and we would sing together as like with my siblings, with my cousins. It was like, and my parents are both musical, but not like they're not folkies. They're more like my dad loves like more rock and roll kind of. He's a do you know like K-Pig Radio? Are you
Mhm.
familiar with K-Pig? Yeah.
Yep.
He's like it's like just I don't know, he's more like a roots rock kind of guy. Um he calls it driving music.
Oh,
That's good.
That's like his, you know. Um yeah, and it's always been a little bit of a melting pot. It's not like the tradition is just country music there by any means, and it's not just rock and roll, it's not just punk. Even though there were such strong and amazing scenes of all those genres in that area. Um, yeah, the jazz scene in San Francisco and Oakland, like there's so many different pockets. So I don't know, it's kind of like an amalgamation, but I just um while I was there, I was learning, just
Mhm.
picking different things up. And like Joan Baez was a big early influence for sure. And she dabbled in all kinds of music too, and singing in Spanish and just doing all kinds of different things.